All right, welcome to our April edition of Cruising with the Mayor. How are you doing today, Mr. Mayor?
I'm doing great. What a beautiful day in Summerville.
Yes, I know. It is awesome out. It's like not too cold. It's a little crisp, but it's going to start warming up as we continue through the day. But I'm excited to dig into last night's meeting, which was a long one, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, it may have been a record breaker. I think we almost made 3.5 hours.
Yeah, listen,
Yeah,
you know,
it's a good meeting.
Could have been longer. Who knows?
It could have been.
But
But you know what that means, Chris? That means we had a lot of folks out attending,
yeah,
being a participant
Yeah.
in the discussion.
Yep.
And we're always grateful for that. When the community comes together,
Yeah.
share their feedback, and really be a part of the discussion. So kudos to our community for showing up big last night.
100%. And we'll dig into that. But before we dig into that, let's talk a little bit about our employee recognition. We had Lenny, who is our security guard downstairs, who is an awesome person. Ever since I joined the team over 3 years ago, he has just been this bright light when you walk into town hall every morning and keeping us safe. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so if you've ever entered the old town hall, you've met Lenny. Lenny sits there and works as our contract security guard. He was actually nominated by a citizen, and that's not that's not the first time we've had citizens praise us for Lenny and what he does down there. But he's a great ambassador to town hall, always greets you with a smile. If you don't know, that area of town hall also serves as our municipal court, and where people pay fines and people pick up permits. And some of those folks aren't always having their best day, and he brightens them up anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's really special.
Yeah.
So it was an honor to honor him, and I'm grateful for him serving our town.
Yeah, for sure. Lenny, if you're watching, congratulations. You are an absolute treasure to this town, and we thank you for your service, for all of that, and keeping us safe at town hall as well. We also, we had Child Abuse Prevention Month, right?
Yeah, so it's Child Abuse Prevention Month.
And we recognize that as for the month of April. You want to dig into that a little bit?
Yeah, Dr. Kay Phillips and an entire multidisciplinary team with DSS and folks from law enforcement and other services that really help our abused and neglected children become their best selves in spite of the trauma they experienced. And we mentioned it last night, you know, I wish we didn't have to have services for abuse and neglect for our children.
Right.
But we have the absolute best people, the professionals, the caretakers, and law enforcement all working together to come around those children who've been traumatized and really help them. And I'm just so grateful for the people who do that. And it was awesome to have them last night at Town Hall.
Yeah, it was. It was awesome to have them there. I think it's a testament to the amount of people that go into the work that goes into, protecting our children.
Yeah.
And obviously we wish that we didn't have to, have that issue, right? But it is an issue, and you can't, when there's an issue, don't ignore an issue. And
Right.
you're out, then it just becomes a bigger issue.
Yeah.
And so I'm proud of us for, recognizing the issue and working very, very hard to limit childhood abuse.
Yeah, absolutely.
And because it's sick, in my opinion.
No doubt.
That said, we also had a really cool moment where we had, I think it was Ukrainian local police officials
Yes.
who have come and traveled here to Summerville.
Mm-hmm.
And these are folks that our chaplain and Chief Wright were with when he took a trip over to Ukraine.
Correct.
And they recognized Chief Wright for everything he has done and his experience and everything he did when he was over in Ukraine.
Yeah.
But also, Mr. May, you got this cool little, I don't even know what it's called, but it's pretty cool looking. I'll post a picture on here or a video because his reaction was pretty cool. But it was cool.
I thought they were giving it to Chief, but it is essentially a wooden mace
Yeah.
that is beautifully finished and represents the authority of government. And, while it was presented to me as mayor, it's really the town of Summerville's, and it will be a fixture for the town. But what a great honor. You know,
It was such a cool. He was funny too.
oh,
wasn't he?
it was great. He was great. He had everybody laughing.
Yeah,
in
he
there,
was
but
funny.
How cool is it that our police chief and Rich Robbins with the chaplaincy, coastal chaplaincy, went over there and really shared why it's important to have a chaplain involved with law enforcement and the military.
Yeah.
And that experience, being able to be vulnerable and recognize that mental health is important.
Yeah.
That experience has shaped how Ukrainian and Moldovan state police officials operate now. And that's really why they were thankful for Chief and came and presented that award.
Exactly. And Chief Wright, if you're watching, thank you for being an awesome leader, not only here in Somerville, but to the world. I mean, Chief is making impacts across the world, and that's pretty cool. That's happening with a leader that is right here in Somerville. And the Ukrainian official said it last night that the folks and the officials over in Ukraine are now very familiar with Somerville. And if you bring up Somerville, they're gonna be like, we know about Somerville because of Chief Wright. And so, Chief, thank you for all of your hard work and dedication to public service, public safety, not only here in Somerville, not only here in our region, not only here in our state, not only here in our country, but in the entire world. So
Absolutely.
I should trademark that. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was great.
Pretty good, honestly.
Yeah, fantastic.
That said, all right, so let's dig in a little bit into the meeting. Obviously, we had a lot of folk out last night to the meeting, and we talked a little bit about this.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. We said this when Newington came out the first time.
Yes.
That it is really, really special when a community or people can come out and support an issue. And there's no better way of doing it than coming out as a group to a council meeting and letting your voices be heard. So kudos to everyone who came out for whatever issue you spoke on.
Yes.
Because speaking in front of a big crowd is very nerve-wracking.
Yes.
Because maybe you and I can probably do it, but we do it for, all the time.
Yeah.
But kudos to y'all for coming up, speaking to council, speaking in front of all those people, because it's very nerve-wracking. So kudos to y'all for that. I just from a public speaking standpoint, it's impressive.
It matters, and it's extremely important.
But that said, we had two topics that we had a majority of the conversation.
Correct.
First one was the bed and breakfast. And so do you want to talk a little bit about the bed and breakfast conversation when it comes to changing the rezoning of it?
So there's a rezoning request on 115 South Magnolia that was discussed last night. It had passed first reading for further discussion and study, and this was its second and final reading of the rezoning request. What was interesting is the folks who were in opposition of the rezoning request were not in opposition of it being a bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
I heard a sentiment from the community that they were not opposed to the use as a bed and breakfast, but they were opposed to the rezoning request. There was a great deal of discussion, but ultimately council decided and voted against the rezoning request. The operation of it as a bed and breakfast would have to comply with its current zoning designation, which is GR2. And, I think there was a great deal of positive discussion on all sides.
Yeah.
I think the sentiment from the community that I heard was bed and breakfast is good in that location. The zoning request was extremely concerning to citizens in that location. And council responded with voting down the rezoning request. Now, something just fell in front of us. I thought it was an animal at first, but it was a large piece of Spanish moss.
I hope you guys enjoy that, because I don't know what our reactions looked like, but it looked like a squirrel dropping right.
What was that?
We're keeping this in, by the way.
No, we need to. But no, that's how that's how council voted on that. And there may be more discussions.
Yeah.
Based on the feedback that bed and breakfasts are something that can help with historic preservation. It certainly brings in out-of-town money to come shop and go to our businesses, and it kind of restores us to our roots as a place of hospitality.
Yeah.
I think that council needs to explore maybe our ordinances related to those types of activities.
Yeah.
And create and make sure that they are up to date with what our community really wants.
Yeah, and I think that makes complete sense. Now, just for folks who might not be familiar, and I'm still kind of shook by that moss that fell down. No, what? So you talked about the zoning request. Can you explain what that rezoning request was for folks who might not understand what that is?
Okay, the current zoning of that parcel that was in question is GR2, General Residential.
Okay.
So it was a residential zoning. There were the surrounding lots on the same block are all GR2. However, there's what's called neighborhood mixed use across the street from this and in other areas nearby. The applicant requested downtown mixed use, but stated, and it was discussed by council to change it to maybe neighborhood mixed use.
Okay.
And that ultimately failed, and so did the DMX, downtown mixed use, ultimately failed. So it is going to remain GR2, general residential.
Got it.
Like the properties within its block.
Got it. Awesome.
Yes.
I
Sorry.
Think, I think going into that helps people understand a little bit about the rezoning, because it took me a while to understand when I got into, local government, the rezoning requests and what the different zonings were.
And each zoning has different uses that are allowed within that zoning and different requirements. And so, when we have land use discussions, we have to think of not only the property itself, but the properties around it and how it affects it. And that was a lot of the discussion last night from our community.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So speaking on, topics that were highly, we had a high volume of folks come in and speak on. Another one was the annexation of a church.
Yes.
With the Newington, around the Newington neighborhood.
Correct.
Obviously, I don't know how long ago it was.
About a year.
Was it a year?
Yeah.
Man, time flies.
It does.
But we had Newington come out and and speak against another type of situation that was happening over there.
That is correct.
A
well-organized community, and
it's so cool.
It's one of the great communities in the town of Somerville.
Yeah,
for sure.
So kudos to Newington for showing up. Now let's dig in to the conversation and the voting that happened there. You want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so there's kind of two things going on at once in this topic. Number one, the church, Somerville Methodist Church, has purchased 2 parcels of property. One is in the town. It's about 30 acres in the town, and it's zoned to multifamily residential. One is, I'm going to say, about 5 acres.
Yeah.
And it was in the county. It was not in the town. So they are having to be able to do the church development the way they would like to do. They are having to rezone. They're having to annex in. So they have to annex into the town of Somerville on that smaller parcel and rezone it in a way that is similar to the surrounding property so that they can eliminate the property line. Mm-hmm. So they're rezoning request and an annexation. We heard from the community and members from the church a lot of great thoughts, but the prevailing thought is both of them want to be good neighbors. The church wants to be a good neighbor. The community wants the church and wants to be a good neighbor with church. And overwhelmingly, the community wants the church to be there and be successful. The discussion centered around the multifamily zoning designation. And, that was something that as the church approached this project, that was the most efficient and effective way, took the least amount of steps, and provided them the most opportunity to have their church the way they would like it. And so that was the discussion last night. Council did support first reading. This was first reading.
So it's not implemented yet.
So it's not done. But the council supported first reading of the annexation request
Okay.
and zoning designation of MFR to match the larger tract that's adjacent to this property for the church. And, I think it's a matter of, it's not about the church versus the community or the community versus the church. The community has genuine concerns that one day that the church, if it did not operate, there would be a high intense development that could negatively impact their community. And you have to respect that and understand that. And the church certainly does not want to create a negative environment. They want to enhance and improve the community with what they're doing. And I think both of that came across very clearly.
I agree.
From our community members. And council, ultimately decided to pass first reading, and I'm sure there'll be a lot more discussion to follow.
Yeah, absolutely. The conversation's not done. So we will definitely touch base and check in on that next time that's at council. That said, again, I mean, we'll repeat ourselves. Kudos to everyone, to the church for showing up and speaking up, for Newington showing up and speaking up. We love it, and we encourage it, and keep doing it. Now, looking back at the meeting, we did have a few other things that were discussed, but another one I want to touch base on, it was in an executive session. We have decided that to hire a new HR manager.
Yes.
And do you want to talk a little bit about Katie and what she's bringing to the town?
I do. So it's really exciting. We have an exceptional HR manager. Chris has done a fantastic job, but he is actually retiring.
Yeah.
So, having a great leader creates a vacuum. A great leader retire creates a vacuum. And through the selection process, council was presented last night with staff's recommendation, who was on the selection committee.
Yep.
And Katie DePapi was their recommendation. Council unanimously approved her as the HR manager, and we are so excited to have her leadership joining us at the town of Summerville. I think it's a great fit. She has such a dynamic background, professionally, in multiple facets, not only in HR, but also operations and training. And I just think she's going to be a huge win for the community, and we're just blessed to have her coming alongside us in the town in whatever time frame she makes it, sometime in the next month or so.
Yeah, absolutely. Katie, if you're watching, congratulations. We'll definitely have more information on Katie. We'll definitely have a nice little announcement as well to kind of dig deeper into her background, so y'all can get to understand the town's new HR manager. But she's a rock star. I'm excited to work alongside her. And definitely a great hire.
Amen.
At the town. That said, Mr. Mayor, anything else for the sake of the conversation?
No, y'all have a great weekend. Enjoy the beautiful weather. And
Masters weekend.
It is Masters weekend.
Are you going?
No.
No? I was trying to go.
I'm wearing some Masters garb, but no.
Yeah, listen, you've given me crap, and a couple of staff members have given me crap because I have this green jacket that I wear, a dress-up jacket that I wear, and kind of a blazer. And
it's a sharp sports coat.
Yeah,
it looks good.
Anyway, so I've worn it a couple times, and not only did the mayor say something, but a few of the staff members like, "Oh, you won the Masters?" It does look like it, but no, seriously. I tried to get. I've been on the lottery trying to get to the Masters. Haven't been able to go yet, but maybe one of these years.
That's right.
Maybe one of these years I'll be able to go. But seriously, I hope you guys have a great weekend. It looks like it's going to be really nice out. So go out to our parks, come downtown.
Go to the farmers market Saturday morning.
It's back
open.
It's back, which I went last weekend. It was awesome. It was packed. But that said, hope you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of your month, and we'll see you next month.